say this. I think one thing that was hard for me when we first got here is you kind of. So my hope is that I'm coming up with something that organizes this in a way that makes this process easier. But I think when we first got here, I had trouble seeing that like you're always looking to solve problems in the context, and you want me to extrapolate the generalizations, the rules or tools from that, and I think I had a hard time.
But everyone does at the beginning, like because that's an ability that you develop as you start looking in that direction. You get better at that. But generally, you don't have to do like a million books in technique. Everybody thinks that I'm obsessed with technique, but that's not true. What I'm obsessed is with methodology of that, so things are functional, so you can do whatever you want. But at the end, you can come up with exercises within the frame of the piece, something that is directly related to a passage and that way of playing. Then you can until you get the desired result. Just functionality of that. Not doing too much technique and separated from everything else is not good because you lose perspective. But doing no technique is also not beneficial because you don't know exactly what's wrong with it and you're just grinding through it.
Yeah, and I think a great example of that would be I haven't played in a while, but like that, there's a lot of stuff. On the one hand, there's not a bunch of things going on, but what I'm trying to say is like there's a small enough number of technical things going on in there that you can kind of iron out things in the context of music versus...
Exactly, which is simpler. It's a simpler attitude, but it allows you to like musically address some issues and not just do technique.
Yeah.
No. Instead of that.
Yeah, like I'll put it to you like this: there's a difference between doing scales, which is relevant, and like really hearing the legato and the phrasing and the rhythm, and also like building.
And it's also you also have that whole section of scales in pieces as well that you can apply directly to that scale.
Yeah, like I'm kind of thinking moving forward to try to. What I want to do is start breaking up my pieces like exercises. Like if there's a scale in the piece, that can be my scale exercise.
There's a book, a very good book, but it's in Spanish, by Teresa Madiedo, Cristina Madiedo, the daughter of Teresa Madiedo, that is called Technique in Context, Técnica en Contexto. And what she does is she talks about all elements in technique from pieces and describing them. I think I have it. If someone doesn't have it, it's in there. I can show you.
Yeah, there's an interview I saw of Marcin once where he said, you have to work on technique, but at some point, like you've got to learn to turn your pieces into problem-solving exercises and technique exercises.
Yeah, it's not here, so nobody has. I have a PDF, but it's all in Spanish, unfortunately.
Can you send me it because I can translate that? I have a software that does that.
It's in my iPad for sure. Let me see if I have it here. Technica. So, the idea is like you're gonna find tons of technique books. The Overcoupled Bible of Classical Guitar Technique. You mentioned the other day, or someone mentioned if I have worked with Stanley Yates one. I bought it, I haven't yet looked at it, but they all at some point cross lines because, you're talking about one common thing.
Yeah.
There's so much variations that you can come out with, at the end, the older I'm getting, the more I think that the simpler the exercise, the more beneficial it is. Doesn't have to be overly complicated. It needs just to change, to show the motion that you're trying to achieve. If you overcomplicate it, then it becomes
hard to see. My analogy for this, and I think you'll like this, I say I call it the Where's Waldo effect. The problem really isn't seeing Waldo. The problem is all the things around him that
clutter the whole thing.
Too much noise. So which is why if you give a student a piece of Bach when they're don't have any technical facility, there's just too much. Everything musically, physically, technically, it's all just too much.
All over the place.